You're watching Pyro Media Network.
Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
I had to learn to let people live in their chaos while I build my peace. Because some people choose dysfunction. They feed off drama and they argue just to feel alive. But me, I'm done with that. My peace matters way more than trying to prove a point. I don't need to save nobody. I don't need to fix nobody. And I'm definitely not in the business of explaining myself. My life got quieter and way more peaceful the moment I start minding my business. Simple.
What is going on, everybody? We are back with another episode of Pyro Power Hour. Thank you guys so much for joining on in. If you're just tuning in, make sure that you're hitting that like button, sharing, and subscribing. I don't care if you share it to your mammy. I don't care if you share it to your daddy. Just go on and share it. Share it to yourself if you will. It does help the algorithm. But thank you so much for tuning on in. Let's see who is in the building. What is going on, Michaela? Thank you so much for tuning on in. Yes, thank you, Michaela. Please share, like, and subscribe. What's up, Timothy? Happy belated, we celebrated yesterday, but happy belated birthday for the Pyromaniacs. Yesterday was Timothy's birthday, so shout out to him. Shout out to him. What is going on, Cyrus? Thank you so much for tuning on in. We appreciate you. Dr. Holt, one of the baddest mods in the game. What is going on? I may be black, I may be tired, but dear God, I'm here. I know that's right. I know that's right. He got a testimony in the spirit. What's going on, Keith? Thanks for joining, King. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, greetings to everybody. Yes, la-da-da to everybody. I know that's right. Get away from me with this. Not the Apollo. Y'all are a mess. Anywho, yes. You're quite welcome, sir. You're quite welcome. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. We have a lot to chat about today. Okay, we have a lot to chat about today. So I do not want to belabor. I do not want to hold you guys too long. Hold on one second. What's going on with my thing on? There we go. All right, Jesus. All right, got this technology going on. All right, first and foremost, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. We're going to be talking about a lot on today. As you know, today is election day. My apologies for yesterday, because yesterday it was my partner's birthday, so I wanted to make sure that we celebrated. So I did. I was supposed to update it yesterday, but I didn't. So my bad. But thank you guys for those who did join in and send me messages. Worried, everything was fine. I just wanted to, spend time celebrating my partner's birthday. But yes, today we're here, and today's election day. We're going to be talking about a lot of things today. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on The View today, which was insane. I want to definitely talk about that. I also want to talk about Miss Kirk over there. Miss Kirk. I have words about her. And I want to talk about Zora Mandani. Not just Mandani, but also a lot of the key races that are happening today, especially like with Abigail Sandberger and a whole bunch of other things. We had some wins today, some Democratic wins for some judges that got elected today. So shout out to them. So if you haven't done so already, like I said, like, share, and subscribe. And if you are not a part of Patreon, make sure that you guys are joining. Patreon is only $5 a month. You can go ahead and join that by going to patreon.com/Pyro Media. And for the second half of the show, we have a very special guest because we have a new show that is debuting on this week. That's right, the Daryl Walter Show 2.0, if you will. Daryl Walter was one of our old clients. He is back, better than ever, and he is ready to talk some stuff. And we have him on today as a special guest. We did a pre-recorded interview, so I'm so excited for you guys to check out. It was a phenomenal interview. I'm super excited for you guys to check out what we got to talk about today. All right, let's get into some things. Now, y'all know I normally get into some things about, like, like the birthdays of the day and celebrity birthdays and all that stuff, whatever. I don't have that type of time. And I want to get into to some of the stuff that's going on in this world. So, Mrs. Kirk, also known as, we're going to get into it. Yep. We're going to get into it. But I want to get into a story that popped up over from China, which I thought was like super interesting. And I thought you guys would find it interesting. Hold on, let me pull up the little notes here. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Jesus. All right. There we go. All right. Boom. So this whole situation over here with China was so there's a new law. I want to dive into this a little bit. So there's a stirring up global content creator economy and the future of online influencing. Okay, it comes out of China, a law that could reshape who gets to speak on serious issues like medicine, finance, education, and law itself, which is really interesting. So here's the headline. So the Chinese regulator, Cyberspace Administration of China, the CAC, has rolled out rules stating that social media influencers who discuss sensitive topics like health, legal advice, investment tips, education guidance, must hold formal credentials, a university degree in a recognized license or certification in that field. So I want to unpack this real quick, okay? Because I thought this was really interesting. Mommy sitting next to me. Okay, girl. I want to unpack this real quick and kind of get into like this a little bit because I thought this was super interesting. So on one hand, it's stated that the goal is clear, like to limit misinformation, which I agree with. I think that people who are not in a specific field, like I'm not going to sit there and talk about health, right? Or specifically medicine, right? I can comment on it. I can comment on different vaccinations, my experience with it. I can talk about, laws and policies that, regulate certain vaccinations or what have you, or even this fool that's, what's his name, RFK Jr. and his idiotic ways that are, regarding the health department. I can comment on that, but I can't talk about the specifics of a vaccine. I can't talk about the specifics of or the science behind certain things because that's not my field, right? I can talk about my feelings regarding what that looks like and how it would impact my life or how it would impact the lives of others in my community. But I can't talk to you about the specific genomes or the specific coding of a particular vaccine or medicine for that matter. That's left up to doctors and or scientists and or pharmacists because that's something that's their field. So I wouldn't want to talk about that, right? But I do think that it's important that we want to limit misinformation and make sure that people who are speaking on those things have that type of expertise. My concern, on the other hand, is that I don't want my freedom of expressing said commentary, to be infringed upon, right? I think that's where I have a concern on. Like, I don't want to sit there and I won't ever say that I'm qualified to speak on medicine because that's not my field. I can talk about education and how I'm counting down these 9 years before retirement. But you have an educational degree. You're a doctor in education, so you can speak on the different curriculums and different things and how that impacts children, right? And if I had children, I could speak on the parenting field. I think my issue is that I don't want people to give out misinformation, but I also don't want my freedom to speak on certain things to be infringed upon. So I think that there's like kind of like a little double-edged sword when it comes to that. I think that needs to be worked out if that is something that needs to be implemented here in America. But there's people that don't got high school degrees talking on shit, so it's whatever. Anyway, let's move on. let's move on. Speaking of, this is Dr. Holt's good girlfriend. You know her, right, Dr. Holt? Miss Erica Kirk. So y'all know, Erica is the widow of Charlie Kirk, right? The influencer, political activist that was assassinated a couple of months ago. Now you know that she was made the new CEO of Turning Point. We gonna get to that, Keith. We're gonna get to that. She was made the CEO of Turning Point USA, which was the organization that yes, this snow bunny. Mm-hmm. But she was made. The Turning Point USA was is the political organization that pretty much helped energize the Republican young base, right? And got more younger people over to Donald Trump's camp and during his campaign. But I digress. It's not about Turning Point USA. It's about Miss Charlie Kirk. She is yet again in the headlines. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but remember that little event that happened, that tribute to Charlie Kirk, and the y'all's president was over there, and this hug was already cringe, right? We were already looking at this like, this is weird boots. Like, this is weird. The whole thing was weird. I didn't understand the reasoning behind it. I didn't understand why we were even doing this. It was like, girl, you are way too close to him. Like, it's okay. Show your affection. Okay, woo-woo. First of all, did you not smell him? Like, I don't want to get that close to someone that I think that smells like from under cheese. But that's just me. That's just my personal because I have a funk thing. I don't like funk or weird smells. And so, like if you smell weird, it's just gonna make me I just want to get away from it as quickly as possible. But I just feel like he looks like he shits on himself. But that's my personal opinion, my thoughts. We'll move on. But Erica, this was already weird. But then here comes Jadisha, the couch humping, allegedly the couch humping, y'all's vice president. Now I want you to take a look at this picture, okay? That was a photo op, but other than that other, yeah, we're gonna get to that. I want you guys to take a look at this picture. Now, some of you are single, and some of you aren't. I want you to imagine your significant other hugging someone like this, like the hair, like she is in it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a church hug. You know what I mean? And you know those hugs that you give, like you put your arm in between, like those, you see the hood niggas do, like they give you a little dab and they give you like the little space in between. Even the church hugs, there's a little space in between. You hug on the side. You give a little air gap in the middle. This was full on titty to titty. Pelvis to pelvis, like. It looked like she was ready to lift and wrap her leg around the man. Does he smell good, girl? Does he smell? Yes, he has a wife. He has a whole, and she was there. Standing there, I would not know what to do. Michaela says that's the type of hood that give you somebody. You know what? That's goody. I mean, I think she did. I think she did do something later, but that's my personal opinion. That's all alleged. We're not, we're not confirming nor denying anything. That's not our business. But all I'm saying is that, ma'am, why are you so close? Like, you don't like you had to you of all people know about marketing and optics and all of that jazz. Wig snatch. Why is your wig snatched? I'm just saying. I feel like if I was Usha, is her name Usha? Usa? JD's wife, y'all second lady. If it was me, she handled it like a white woman. I would have handled it like a black woman. That's just me. All I'm saying is that, girl, you don't need to be putting your hands through the boy's hair. Like, that's super intimate. All up in the neck. Like, that's how I hug my man. Like, y'all know. This is very weird. This is very, very weird. And then she talked about, I can't play it because, Turning Point is when I'm going after YouTubers and talking about, like, that we're using copyright infringement. I can't play it. But you go on some of the social media stuff and you go ahead and check out some of the stuff that she was saying about Miss JD. Talking about, my husband was wonderful, great man. But there are a lot of similarities to JD. So you're comparing your husband, girl, your husband that was assassinated a couple of months ago, to JD Vance. What else can you compare, girl? What other comparisons? I'm just saying. She said, "Talk to a good lawyer, Usha." I'm just saying. Michaela said, from what I heard, allegedly, his wife submits to him, so I don't think she'll see nothing wrong with child. Tiffany says, they would have been able to lay her right on the remembrance of me. Her husband was one of the kids, too. Listen. That's all. You know what, Keith? Yep. Allegedly. I'm saying it for you. All I'm saying is that, like, this looks very intimate, and I'm zoomed in. Okay, if you look at the full picture, like, it's pelvis to pelvis, y'all. I don't even hug my good girlfriends like that. I'm sorry. My bestie and I are super close, but I don't hug her like that. I don't. This is very, very different. I know he's plowing her. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. My opinion. But maybe I need a degree. Maybe if this was China, maybe I would need a degree about, relationship skills and goals and things of that nature. Yeah, I mean, maybe I need a marriage and family therapist license or something like that to say anything about that. But you know what? You do you, girl. I'm not mad at you. You do you. Wow. I mean, 2 months. Some people wait a couple of, at least a year. All right, girl. You do you. Who am I? Who am I to tell you how to grieve? Let's move on, because she did. Anywho, let's talk about these races. Now, Zora Mandani, a lot of people are saying, look, I have not gotten any news yet about it. I am on these polls, child. Polls close in 45 minutes. So the polls close in New York in 45 minutes. So we'll keep an eye on that. So I think Zoran's got this, but we know what happened with Kamala. We know what happened with Hillary. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting my hopes up. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting my hopes up. But I just have a good feeling about this particular race. I think he's got it. I think he's got it. And you know what? Zoran is really adorable. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. He is just really, really adorable. Like, he just looks like cute. Like, I'm not sexually attracted to him. He's got a wife. I got a man. You do your thing. But I'm just saying, he just looks adorable. He looks pleasant. Like, you can have a beer with him. You can hang out with him and just talk. I don't know. He just seems pleasant. You go ahead, man. You do your thing. Anywho, Abigail, I don't know shit about this girl. I don't know where she came from. Apparently, she's Virginia's front runner, a Democratic front runner for governor. But I'm all about blue. He said not too much. I was just saying he's adorable. Anywho, so I'm all about blue at this point. I don't want nothing to do with anybody. I don't care. And you know what's crazy? The opponent, I think it's Earl Jones or Earl something. I forget the opponent, the Republican opponent. He is Winsome Earl something. I forget. She won. Wait, hold on. Let me confirm that. Because the last time I checked, we're like literally right down to it. Who won the Virginia governor? Oh, they just called it. Okay, because when I right like literally 5 seconds. That's why I was a little late coming on because I was checking to see that they hadn't called it yet. But apparently, Winsome Earl Sears. Sorry, girl. But you know the right tried to play these games talking about, oh well, Obama because he's black should have supported the black woman. Girl, if y'all don't sit your behinds down. Well, congratulations. Let me go ahead and call this real quick because I did not know. Where is it? I just want to double check one more source real quick before I confirm. One more source. 1 second, you guys. You know, we like to make sure we're right. I don't like giving out wrong information. There's too much misinformation going on in these YouTube streets. Okay. Yep. Okay. Here we go. All right, y'all. We can confirm that the winner of the Virginia governor's race is Abigail Spanberger. I thought it was Spanberger, who's a Democrat. She defeated Winsome Earl Sears and will become Virginia's first female governor. That is crazy that we still have first going on in 2025. But congratulations, girl. Congratulations. What did Timothy say? Bye to the to the baby. You're ridiculous. Why should Obama support her? She don't even get her hit. Stop. Dr. Jose, you know I've been on it election. I know, Dr. Jose, me and you be talking about all types of elections, but I just I have to make sure, because I gotta do my due diligence. That's what y'all want. All right. Well, congratulations, girl. Now we just gotta wait on Zora Mandami. That's gonna be another 30 to 45 minutes before that happens. So hopefully we'll get the election results for that before we get off air. But if not, then we'll call it on once we get it. But I think he's gonna win, but we'll see. It's been a good night so far for the Democrats, so congratulations. But speaking of some things here, I want to get into Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know if we're in a twilight zone. I don't know if there's like, if people are getting like, brain eating flesh disease, or I don't know what's going on, body swapping, alien abductions. I don't know what's going on. Okay. If suddenly, Marjorie Taylor Greene got a flashlight circuit. I saw Get Out a couple of days ago again. I don't know. Maybe she got out the sunken place. I don't know what's happening with her. But she's starting to make some damn sense. Now, me and her don't align politically, and I still don't like how she came out, my girl, Jasmine. I'm still watching her as you still can't come to the cookout. But girl, you made some sense on The View today. All right? If y'all have not seen The View on today, I had never thought in a million years I would see Marjorie Taylor Greene not only sit at the table of The View, but also sit next to Joy Behar, and they laugh and cackle with each other. What the hell is going on in these streets these days? Check this out.
Practically, I yelled at Mike Johnson last week on our GOP conference call. By the way, I'm missing the call today. It's going on right now. And I hope that Mike Johnson is finally giving a single health care policy because the country deserves it, and it shouldn't be a secret. And I shouldn't have to go into a skiff to go find our Republican health insurance plan.
Maybe there is
Honestly,
no plan.
you know what? You want to know something? That, I believe, is the truth. There's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of bills, but there's no consensus.
Yeah.
And I think that's a failure. I do.
Well,
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who had been saying?
What? Was that Marjorie Taylor Greene? What? Are we okay? Is it me? Is it me? What is happening? What? They were soft on her, in my opinion. Timothy says they should have had me on the They would have had it. No, you would have cussed her out. Marjorie tired, but she can still get slapped. Y'all are so mean. Yeah. So listen. I personally think that this was really smart of Marjorie Taylor Greene, just from a political analysis and commentary position. I think this was a really smart thing for her to do, because now you're talking to the middle of the because at first she was looked at as this far right person, which fine, you can have far right beliefs or whatever, that's your business. But you were in like conspiracy theory land, girl. You were like MAGA. And what I didn't understand is like some of the things that she was talking, she was really strong about the Epstein files. She was really strong about, like, really adamant about women who have been abused or attacked or hurt or whatever. But yet the person that she quote, she said she loves the president. She said she loves Donald Trump. But he's a convicted felon. Ma'am. Dr. O says that she can still get that Angela Bassett slap from Waiting to Exhale. Kwame, you got to get that slap. I will get it. I have to download that. Timothy says, I'm glad she did address that, and she has grown. She admitted to being duped. I don't know. Let's take a look at another clip.
Practically, I yelled at Mike Johnson.
Oh, sorry.
I think there's a lot of paid social media influencers. And I found it very interesting that they were the MAGA accounts, but they're all paid, and they all attacked me when I announced I was coming to join you ladies on The View. And I think that's very weak and pathetic. But when I talk about weak Republican men, I'm pretty much talking oftentimes about the leadership in the House and the Senate, and they're not getting our agenda.
What about? Okay, that's cute, Marjorie. But what about the weak Republican man that's in the House, the one that you love so much? I'm not gonna let that go, girl. I'm not. Hold on. Oh, we got another one. Oh, this is gonna be a blue wave tonight, I think. Oh yes. So Al Jazeera is reporting that Democrats project to win New Jersey governor's race. So I was not following the New Jersey governor's race, but they look like they got that too. All right, Democrats, y'all working a little something. I'm waiting for the Zohran Mamdani race. That this New York race is going to be everything. She contradicted herself so many times. Also, I agree. She did. We're going back to Miss Bam over here. Yeah, she did. Absolutely. Let's see. Kiss our asses. All right. Let's move on since y'all are over her. But I'm gonna watch her because I think that like some of the stuff that she has said made sense. You know, I mean, but it's also common sense stuff. So it wasn't like she was saying anything that was like wildly different or wildly, revelatory, so that's just my opinion on the whole situation, but we'll see how it goes, girl. All right, y'all, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I want to get into our as I told you guys before, we are debuting the Daryl Walter show this Friday, right here on Pyro Media Network. And so we have special guest Daryl Walter to talk about that and some other things that are going on in the church world. He is going to be our church vlogger because I don't have time. Okay, so he will be the one. So I'm looking forward to speaking with him. Yeah, we'll see you on the other side right after this break.
Hey, it's Pastor Kim from It's Just Kim Live Show, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
Hey y'all, it's Nicole D. Vick from Nicole D. Vick Live, and you're watching Pyro Media Network.
What's up, everybody? We are here with the one and only Daryl Walter. First of all, welcome back to the fam. I mean, you never left, but welcome back.
It's glad to be back. Thank you very much for very much for accepting me back. I'm just glad to be back. Yeah.
Once you Pyro fam, you always Pyro fam. Well, for some people, you definitely. Once you Pyro fam, always.
Exactly.
For life. Yes. Well, first of all, we're bringing back the Daryl Walter show. It's like the Daryl Walter show 2.0. I'm looking forward to it. Super excited about it. And I think what's crazy about, at least for me as a producer, what I love to see about this show that's different from the other shows is when you first started with us, you were super church hurt. I mean, we all get church hurt in life, right? And you were super adamant about not, dealing with, you physically in your spiritual life going to church or doing any of that stuff or whatever. Things have changed, right? And so, although the show is on the same premise of it being a church pop culture show, emphasis on church and the church world, you have evolved into a space spiritually that I think helped kind of focus the show a little more and grounds the show a little more. So tell me a little bit about that journey and what, without giving too much away, because I know you're going to talk about it on your show, but I want to give the people a little bit of a precursor, if you will.
Yeah. Well, first of all, hey y'all, how's everybody doing? um, Listen, honestly, this show is not only just new and improved, but I feel like there are some people who remember me from yesteryear in the Daryl Walter show. But I feel like now we're going to be talking to a whole new audience. So what has changed? I have moved from the West Coast to the South. I was in Las Vegas when we started the show, and I am now in Atlanta. I am in Atlantean.
Come on, the Atlanters,
Also,
the Atlanters.
Atlanta, the fall. What is it? What am I born? Also, I go to church. I do have a church home, but not only that, Kwame. I love God. I have definitely made a lot of reconciliations in my life with who I am, with who I am as a human being, with my sexuality, with church. I don't think church hurt is necessarily the word I would use, but I was over church. Like many people out there, I had felt like I had reached my end of going to church and being involved in church. And I know there's many people out there who are like, we knew you would be back. We knew you're always a church person. But listen, it's not that I am back, but I would say that I'm in a new and special place where I have been able to reconcile my spirituality and my sexuality. And I've been able to do a lot, right? I've been able to do a lot of work. I've been able to do a lot of forgiveness. I am in a church that affirms and accepts me for all of who I am. I can have a boyfriend, I can have a husband, and also I am okay with talking about it and being very open about my life. So just to go into it, this Daryl Walter show is going to be completely authentic. This Daryl Walter show is going to be completely honest. This show is really going to be about encouraging people, about healing, about having the tough conversations, and not just being messy, but being messy with a purpose.
I know that. Oh, I like that. Messy with a purpose.
Yeah. Messy with a purpose. Yeah. Because guess what? Even in the mess, there's a lesson.
Ooh, you better drop
in the mess, even in the mess, there's a bless. If I can make it rhyme. But even in the hot topics and all that stuff, like, yeah, we like to talk about it. I get it. But what I have found is even in those messy situations, there is something we can glean from it. There is something we can take from it and apply it to our lives to learn from it.
All right, Deacon Pastor Apostle Daryl Walter, come on now. I like that.
Yeah.
No, that's really, really dope. And I think one of the things that I really enjoy about working with you is that you're so open to critique and you adapt so well to that critique. And even there's certain things that I would like. I remember in the first iteration, and even I was growing. I'm still growing as a content creator and growing as a public speaker and things of that nature. And so it was interesting just to see how much you soak up and how much you apply those things to what you do, and still without losing yourself. And so just seeing this new Daryl hasn't really been different. It's always been something I've always seen in you, but just seeing you come out of that space of like trying to please others and trying to worry about what the audience thinks and just being authentic to you, it's been so beautiful to watch. And so I'm super excited to see what you have in store for everybody. I'm so excited for the audience to see you and have conversations about things. I know Pyro is not a church vlog, church sector type channel, but we do open up to so many different voices and intersectionalities, right? And so I felt like that was missing for a while since you left Pyro Media, and you coming back, like filling that space and then doing it in such a positive way. Like you're just giving your opinion, your commentary. You're not trying to get nasty and you're not trying to play in this game of of trying to to harm people. Like, you genuinely just want the church to be better. You genuinely want perspectives to be better. And of course, like you said, there's always going to be a little, it's been messy with a purpose, right? We all get with our cousins, and sit on the porch and we talk crap, and we sipping our, pina coladas and our iced teas and Arnold Palmers, right? But I think it gets different when you go into a space and you're trying to be mean and you're not. And I that's one of the things that I always appreciated about you. And so being messy with a purpose, we're gonna have to put that on a t-shirt.
Messy with a purpose, because we all have mess. It's a matter of what you do with the mess.
What has interested or has brought interest to you when it pertains to church world news and church pop culture?
What has interested me is, one, church pop culture is world pop culture. And also what I have really found in my experience. So first of all, I moved from Las Vegas to Atlanta, and in my move, I had no intention of going to church. I had no intentions of being a part of any ministry or being in ministry. Let me just be honest in that point. But so much had transpired in my move. My dog of 12, 13 years died suddenly the day before I left Las Vegas.
I'm sorry.
So many things just happened where it just really brought me to a place of it brought me to a place of vulnerability. Right?
Yeah.
And so it really brought me back to a place of answering the questions that I had truthfully. And what I find a lot of times is there's so many people out there who are like, this is why I don't go to church. See that pastor slept with that lady, and this is why I don't go to church. And that Marvin Wine is, asked for all that money, and see that's why I don't go to church. And but the reality is that's not why you don't go to church.
Right.
That's the excuse you use for why you don't go to church.
Yeah.
You don't want to face the truth of who you really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I am a deep person. When we really get down to it, it's like, oh, that's good. Oh, they asked for money. That's why I don't go to church. Oh, this pastor did this, or this person slept with this person, and that's why I don't go to church. But you really don't go to church because it's a mirror.
Yeah.
A reflection of who you really are. And listen, church is not for everybody. Some of my close friends don't go to church. And I had a friend the other day, he said, Daryl, you know what I really love about you? You don't force it on anybody. You don't shove it down my throat. And I don't. Because that is not my job. That is not my position. My position is not to judge. My position is not to make you feel bad about who you are. But my goal as a human being, listen, not to get preachy, but God is love, and love is for everybody.
Yeah.
So my goal is for you to be seen, because I know what it's like not to be seen.
Yeah.
I think the goal of the church mess is to see those things and learn from those issues and those situations, because those situations go on everywhere.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, it's going to be a pastor that slept with the member. It's going to be a pastor that embezzled the money. But there are so many great people, who do go to church. And there's so many great people who don't go to church. But the reality is to just get the lesson, to see that and just say, okay, this is how I want to move better. This is what makes sense to me. Or maybe you're at a church where this is going on, and now that you see it, it helps you maneuver better. It helps you maybe move. It helps you maybe say, maybe this is not the ministry for me.
Right.
It's okay to move on. It's okay to say that, you know what, I'm not accepting this anymore. And really on a deeper level, Kwame, even if you don't believe in anything, you believe in something.
You believe in something, yeah. Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I think that people, it's not about whether you go to the church building or not, because whether it's a building, right? Because I look at church as it's a place of fellowship. It's a place of getting with like-minded individuals to worship the Lord. And I think that that's where people forget, like, you're there to worship God, right? God is with you always, but you're there to worship God. You're there to that's the primary focus of you being there. Not for the pastor, not for the bishop, not for the messy queens that are sitting on the side, not for the nasty church mother that's over on the corner that's looking at you, with through her glasses, like, and being mean. None of that is there. Like, that's not the focus of it all. And even on the positive side, it's not also it's great that we have our church brothers and sisters and siblings, there to fellowship with and to see them, and to be a part of something more than what you are, right? And so that's great, but that's still not the focus, right? The focus is always and should always be on God. And I think that's where people who either are church hurt or who are over church or whatever the situation is, that's what I had to learn when I left church. I had to learn that it's not about the people there. It's about my relationship with God. And even when you were talking about that's not why you're not going. You're not going because the bishop was mean to you. You're not going because there was a scandal. You're not going because people are playing games with the tithes and offerings. You're not going because somebody's being mean to you or whatever. You don't like that particular person or your ex is there, whatever the situation. That's not why you're not going. The same reason why people are saying, oh, well, I can't go to the gym because it's too expensive, or I can't go to the gym for this, whatever. That's not where you're not going. You're not going because you don't want to. Like, don't make it seem like it's all these other things. Like, you're making an excuse for why you're not trying to meet your goal. And so the goal should always be worshiping God. And if that's not your goal, then then yeah, I can understand why you don't want to be there. And why you don't want to, because church is everywhere. You are the church. We can worship at home. We know that we found that out during COVID. You know what I'm saying? So I got more at worshiping at home than I ever did going to any church ever. And so it's not about the building or the place. It's about really developing that connection with God. And I think just seeing you and how you've operated in these development sessions in our pre-production meetings, and just the confidence that you have, and just even seeing you on social media, like, there's just a different glow with you. And it's not because you got into a new ministry or whatever. It's because I think you finally connected with God on your own. And that's just a beautiful thing to see. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how that manifests in your show. What do you hope for people to gain from watching your show? Who's your target audience, so to speak? Who are the type of people that you want to bring to your congregation?
That's funny you said that. Everybody. My focus is those who feel lost, those who don't feel seen, and listen, those who love mess. Come on, because what I really, hot topics are popular right now, and if you go on my social media, you'll notice I pulled away from that, and I had to reconcile that, because that's how I became, TikTok famous, if you will. It's talking about the pastors, it's talking about the evangelists and what happened. So I'm gonna talk about it again. I will say, more so than likely, exclusively, it will be on the Daryl Walter show, because again, it has to be mess with purpose, right? And when I say a mess with purpose, we're gonna talk about it. For example, Marvin Wine, we're gonna talk about it, but the real conversation is, how long are we gonna sit in toxic theology? How long are we going to accept the old and say, oh, well, that's just how it is, so I'm just going to accept it, right? Because for so long we just say, that's how it is, I don't like it, and I'm not going to go. But the reality is that there's I feel like there is just a new wave of people, a new wave of people in their faith. That $1,000 line ain't working anymore, right? It's just not, the way that church has been done. There's some of it that's beautiful. I love tradition. A lot of people don't know that about me, but also a lot of that old way is not working anymore. Listen, beating on children ain't working anymore. I get it. My mama beat me. My grandmama beat me. We don't want to talk about that comes from slavery. And that's just not working for some kids anymore. And there are so many people who who want to be accepted, who want to be seen, right? And so my audience is just, it's a little bit of everybody because you're
Mhm.
gonna get something out of it. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna tell you what happened because I am connected to it, right? But also it's gonna open your eyes to say that we are human.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is the humanity of people. For
Mhm.
all have sinned, for all
Mhm.
have missed the mark. There is not
Mhm.
one perfect person. So how do
Mhm.
we reconcile our humanity and really see us? Like you, a little while back, you talked about worshiping God, you know, loving God. But
Mhm.
my next question is, how can you say you love God and you don't love yourself?
Oop.
How can you say you love God and you don't love your neighbor that's right next to you?
Mm.
Like no one is perfect. And so we are going to talk about the imperfection to
Mhm.
help bring perfection. And what I mean by
Yeah.
perfection, I mean balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
got a crazy uncle in our family. We all got a church story that has had. I got plenty of church stories that have happened to me. So a lot of people go, well, how can you go to church? Or how can you go to that church? Because it works for me. And I
Yeah.
understand as long as I'm at the church, there's not going to be a perfect church.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not about other people, it's about you.
Yeah.
It's about healing you. It's about
Mhm.
bettering you. It's about making you a better person. Again, even if you believe in nothing, you believe in something.
It's something.
So we
Yeah.
going we going to dissect all of that. We going to get to the root of all of that. I know I'm talking a little bit too much, but
You're fine.
part of what brought me back to church was just getting back to the foundation of this is who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who I am is is so much greater than the mess.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
and I oh god, we got to bring you back on, Daryl. Like seriously, you always drop gems, and you're so open, and transparent about your journey, whether it be on your social media or whether it be on the Daryl Walter show. Like I just thank you for your authenticity. Like you truly are like an example of that, and just seeing your growth. Like you'll even say, yeah, I ate that cake, and I was not supposed to eat
That
it.
was me.
I was on a fast, but I ate that cake. It's like
I
it
ate
is what
that
it
cake.
is.
That was me. That if
Right.
listen, that was me bent over at the club.
That's right. You better go ahead
Metaphorically
and
speaking.
twerk for
Metaphorically
Jesus.
speaking. Metaphorically speaking. But yeah, that's the reality. It's like, yes,
Mhm.
and I told you this in private and just talking publicly. I want to talk about all the stuff I've been through, from the drug use to the homelessness to the poor
Mhm.
decision making, you
Mhm.
know, to making decisions that put me in uncomfortable positions. But
Yeah.
also, I think the beauty in this and the beauty in coming back to the Daryl Walter show is that the ending,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
this, the glow up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I want somebody to see that yes, you can go through all of that and get to the other side. My audience is the person who messed up. My
Yeah.
audience
Yeah.
is the person who thinks they've gone so far that they can't reconcile themselves back. My audience is the person who says it's too late. My audience
Yeah.
is the person who says, you know what, I'm done with that. I'll never go back to that. I'll never love again. I'll never
Mhm.
believe again. I'll never be what I believe God said I could be. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I get passionate and I get like emotional about it because I've come such a long way,
You
and
have.
my story, my authenticity, I know what it's like to be abandoned. I know what it's like for somebody to turn their back on you. I know what it's like to be the mess. I know what it's like to be the talk. You know what I mean? I know what it's
Yeah.
like to not be the popular person. And I am okay with that. I have learned so much that if I'm all I've got, that is more than enough. And there's so many people who have just not heard the lesson, the foundation of just love yourself.
Yeah.
Love yourself
Yeah.
through it. Love yourself in the midst of it. Love yourself when nobody else loves you. And if that's all you got, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen. Thank you so much, Daryl, for coming on Pyro Power Hour. I am so excited for you guys to check out the Daryl Walter Show, which is debuting this week, November 7th, Friday. Okay, so definitely check it out. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Excuse me, is it 10 a.m.?
It's not. No, we're going to do 9 a.m. Pacific
It's
Standard
9 a.m.
Time.
Thank you
12
so
p.m.
much.
Eastern Standard Time. Listen, it is new, and I'm going to promote my own self.
Yes.
We're coming back with the vengeance, baby.
Yes.
We're going to talk about it all. Clock that. Clock all of that. Okay? Baby, we're going to do all of it.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you right after this break. Thanks again, Daryl. Appreciate you. Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
And that was the one and only Daryl Walter. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on today. Make sure you guys check out the Daryl Walter Show this Friday, debuting this Friday at 9 a.m. I put 10 a.m. My bad. 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think that's 12 Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So definitely check it out this Friday. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. That's going to do it for today's show. I love you guys. I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I just appreciate you guys. It's always fun having you guys on the show and just kind of chopping it up with you guys for this Tuesday. All right, y'all. I'm going to be on again tomorrow, Wednesday, for because we were I was supposed to do the show yesterday, but we're going to do it Wednesday tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, stay blessed, stay stress-free, and stay lit. Peace out, y'all. Bye.
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.